All right, next up, we got, featherweights throwing down here as we have Dennis Buzukja coming in at plus 355. He welcomes the violent Marcio Barbosa to the UFC, who comes in at minus 455. Now, Buzukja is looking to bounce back after a loss at the hands of Francis Marshall from a year and a half ago. That was a very close fight. Looking back at it, the last 2 rounds were close. The first round, I thought it was clear that Marshall won. Good clinch control, good damage the entire time. But the second 2 rounds, a little bit closer. But I think the big swing factor in that second round specifically was when Marshall was able to land the knockdown in the first minute of that round. The last 10 minutes, again, did play out pretty close outside of that knockdown, so I can understand why one judge may have given that to Buzukja, but I thought it was pretty clear that Marshall deserved to win rounds 1 and round 2 without a doubt. He's 1-3 in the promotion now. His only win coming in a dominant beatdown of Connor Matthews, who probably didn't even deserve to be in the UFC in the first place. But he really needs to prove himself this weekend that he deserves to be on the roster. He's a solid striker with good Muay Thai and good combinations. He's been working on his grappling game where opponents have tried to take advantage of him in the past. He came up with Sarah Longo in, I believe it's Long Island. But since Merab and Aljo moved to Vegas, he kind of followed them. So he's been training at Syndicate MMA. He also had moved down to Miami to train at Goat Shed, which I thought was an obsolete gym at this point in time, but it seems like it's not. But he spends a lot of time with Aljo and Merab, and I'm sure they were helping him prepare for this matchup. He was suspended. That's the reason he's been off for as long as he has. He was suspended because of the altercation that he had at UFC 310 with a fan as he was walking backstage with Aljo after his matchup. He swung on a fan after a fan had hit him in the shoulder or something like that, but he was suspended, I believe, for 9 months, did some community service or something like that. That dumbed it down to 6 months. Hence why he is finally back, looking to bounce back from that loss. Luckily, he's only 28, so he still has a ton of time to try to carve something out for himself in the UFC. I really just think he's a fringe UFC guy, though. He's going up against one of the most violent fighters on the roster. We got Marcio Barbosa, who is looking to showcase to the UFC why he deserves to be in the UFC after that nasty knockout finish that he had on the Contender Series against Damon Wilson. This guy has finished 16 of his 17 fights in the first round, with 14 of those coming by knockout. He's been to the second round, I believe, 3 times. 2 of those times, he got finished by Gabriel Santos. I can't recall who the other opponent was. I believe the other opponent actually beat him by decision. But then he does have a split decision victory from earlier on in his career as well. But it's clear what this guy does. March forward, throw big shots, headhunt, look to get his opponents out of there. He does also have a nasty power jab that, when he does keep his strikes clean, he does throw good shots down the pipe. He's not just all wide winging hooks looking to knock his opponents out. But it's clear his gas tank does obviously suffer should fights reach the second round. And that's the issue he's going to have to try to rectify now that he's in the UFC. It's not going to be so easy to just walk through guys and put them away anymore. Guys won't be intimidated by his power. There will be slicker strikers who can counter that type of power punching approach he brings, and better wrestlers as well who will be able to keep him to the ground. Most guys have struggled to keep him down. He does a great job with his takedown defense, immediately working back to his feet, never settling for bad positions, but that's going to get uncovered more and more as he fights tougher competition. Now, this weekend, as he goes up against Dennis Buzukja, I can see a little bit of a reason why Barbosa finds himself at minus 455, but this could be one of the stiffer pieces of competition he's gone up against. Buzukja, Muay Thai specialist, I don't think he's going to be all that intimidated by the power coming back his way, and that could work for and against him, right? That might work for him because he might be able to counter effectively, stick and move, and maybe land a big shot of his own that hurts Barbosa. But it could work against him, as if he stands in the pocket a little bit too long, maybe Barbosa's power comes through and puts Buzukja away. The line that did intrigue me the most, though, is the under 1.5, roughly sitting between minus 150 and minus 160. I'm sure it's going to take a ton more action over the next couple of days, but I expect Barbosa, if he is to win, to stick to his usual trend of finishing guys early. And I will predict him to win in round 1. But if you take that under 1.5 instead of the chalk on Barbosa, you cover the potential in case Buzukja counters him and puts him out that way too. So I think if it goes over 1.5, it likely means Buzukja ends up getting the win. But at least with the under 1.5, you can cover Barbosa potentially getting countered and put out himself. So I'm going to go Barbosa here. I wouldn't parlay him at this number. I'd rather just take the under, even if it ends up getting chalked to like minus 200, minus 230 by fight time. I still think Barbosa gets a knockout victory, and I think it happens in the first round.